3 hours. No sun, no explanation, just darkness in the middle of the day. Scientists can't explain it. Historians recorded it, and it happened the exact moment a man on a cross took his last breath. This isn't a theory. This isn't a sermon. These are the documented reactions of the universe itself. The sky, the ground, the temple, and even the graves the moment Jesus died. What you're about to hear will change how you see the cross forever. It was noon. The sun was at its highest point in the sky. Passover had packed Jerusalem with thousands of people, merchants shouting, children running, priests moving through ritual, soldiers at their posts. And then, without warning, the light vanished. Not gradually, not like a sunset, like someone reached up and turned off the sky. The Bible records that darkness covered the entire land from the 6th hour to the 9th hour. 3 full hours, midday, blackout. Now, here's what makes this impossible to dismiss. Roman historians, Jewish scholars, and early chroniclers outside the Bible all noted an unusual darkness during this period. This wasn't just a spiritual metaphor. People recorded it because it terrified them. For 3 hours, nobody could see. Nobody could explain it. And in the middle of that darkness, a man on a cross was carrying something the human mind can barely comprehend, the weight of every sin ever committed. But the darkness was just the beginning, because the moment he died, the ground itself had something to say. The moment Jesus gave up his spirit, the earth moved. Not a tremor, not a rumble you'd sleep through, a great earthquake, so violent that solid rocks split open. The Bible says the rocks were torn apart, boulders cracked, the ground fractured beneath the feet of the people standing at the cross. Think about what that means. The people who came to watch a crucifixion couldn't even stand still. The very ground beneath their feet was shaking. Why would the earth respond to one man's death? Because this was not just one man. This was the one through whom the earth was made, the one whose voice the wind had obeyed, the one who walked on the water he created. And creation recognized its creator, not in triumph, but in grief, in trembling, in a response that no human command could have orchestrated. The earth broke open because something eternal was happening above it. But the most significant thing that happened that day didn't happen outside. It happened inside the temple. And what God did to that curtain is something theologians have studied for 2,000 years, because it changed everything about how humans can reach God. Inside the temple hung a curtain, not a thin piece of fabric. Ancient records describe it as roughly 60 feet tall, 30 feet wide, and as thick as the width of a man's hand. Some accounts say it took 300 priests to move it. It was woven so tightly that 2 teams of oxen pulling from either side could not tear it apart. And yet, the moment Jesus died, it tore. Not from the bottom, where a person could grab it, from the top, straight down the middle, as if hands from above gripped it and ripped it open. That curtain had one purpose: to separate the people from the presence of God. It was a physical declaration that sin had created a wall, that the holy and the broken could not simply coexist, that access to God was guarded, limited, earned only through sacrifice after sacrifice after sacrifice. And God himself tore it. In one motion, at the moment his son breathed his last, God removed the barrier. He didn't patch it. He didn't open a small door through it. He destroyed it completely, permanently. The message was unmistakable. The way is open. And if you think that's staggering, you are not ready for what happened to the graves. The Bible records something so extraordinary that many people skip past it without pausing to feel the weight of it. The tombs opened. Not all tombs, but many of the tombs of righteous people, saints who had died, were opened by the earthquake. And after Jesus rose from the dead 3 days later, those saints came out of their tombs and appeared to people in Jerusalem. Let that settle for a moment. Real people, recognized by real people, walking through a real city. People who had been dead, now alive. The power released at the cross was so immense, so world-altering, that death itself began to loosen its grip. The crucifixion wasn't just a moment of suffering, it was the beginning of death's defeat. What Jesus was doing on that cross was so final, so complete, that even the graves felt it before the resurrection happened. Death was shaking because its end had begun. Among the people standing at the foot of the cross was a Roman centurion. This was a man who had made a career of executions. He had watched men die before. He had stood at other crosses. He was not a man given to emotion or superstition. But when he saw the darkness, felt the ground shake, heard the cries of Jesus, and watched how he died, something broke through his armor. He said 5 words that echo through history. Truly, this was the Son of God. A Roman soldier, an enforcer of the empire that crucified Jesus, standing at the foot of the cross, confessing what heaven had been declaring all along. The cross didn't hide who Jesus was, it revealed it. With more power than any miracle, with more clarity than any sermon. The cross was never just pain. It was purpose. It was the most violent act of love in history. The innocent taking the place of the guilty, the holy absorbing the weight of the broken, so that a way could be opened that no religion, no effort, no ritual could ever build. And the question the cross leaves every person with is not academic, it is personal. Now, if this video meant something to you, even just a little, then I'm asking you, genuinely, take a second to subscribe, not just to support the channel, but to stay connected to this kind of content. Because videos like this, they don't just happen. They take time, research, and intention, and every single subscription makes it possible to go even deeper. So if you felt something here, if something clicked, shifted, or made you think differently, subscribe and be part of this journey. I truly mean it when I say, I'm grateful for every single one of you.